Listen to Niger's Minister of Defense and State, Army Corps General Salifou Modi, deliver a moving biography of Army General Abdourahamane Tchiani, shortly after the military leader was elevated to the rank of a 5-star general, and officially installed as Niger's president, for a period of 5 years, in a ceremony that was held in Niamey on the Wednesday of March 26, 2025.
Mercredi 26 juillet 2023.
Wednesday, July 26, 2023, Wednesday, March 26, 2025. 20 months ago, a day like today, the National Council for the Safeguarding of the Fatherland, in a spirit of patriotism, courageously decided to take control of the country in the face of an obvious drift by a power whose unpatriotic actions threaten the very existence of our country. This act, quickly understood and strongly supported by a very large majority of our population, who very early on saw it as an opportunity to recover sovereignty confiscated by external predators supported by sectarian politicians, was the occasion for a patriotic and popular movement with a guide, a leader, a chief, Brigadier General Abdourahamane Tchiani.
Le général de brigade Abdourahamane Tchiani.
It is therefore this man, this worthy son of Niger, this providential soldier, that we celebrate today. This is also why, in my capacity as Minister of National Defense, I have the pleasant pleasure, the great honor, and the duty to speak out to enlighten you a little more about the man of July 26, 2023, this soldier with multiple merits, on the occasion of this ceremony of elevation to the rank of Army General.
Ce soldat aux multiples mérites à l'occasion de cette cérémonie d'élévation au grade de général d'armée. En effet,
additionally,
la cérémonie qui nous réunit ce jour,
this ceremony that brings us together today constitutes the first step in the implementation of the conclusions of the National Conference on the Refoundation, in accordance with the commitments made by the President of the National Council for the Safeguarding of the Fatherland to play his part and respond to the aspirations of the people.
sa partition est de répondre aux aspirations du peuple. Elle est aussi pour nous.
It is also for us the consecration of a fighter and of a man of honor.
Nous nous devons donc
We must therefore celebrate with all the required solemnity our brother in arms whose feats of arms are indisputable.
les faits d'armes sont indiscutables. Aujourd'hui, homme d'État,
Today a statesman, he had, before this leap into history, an equally remarkable life within the Nigerian armed forces as a rigorous, humble, and pragmatic military leader.
humble et pragmatique. Distingués invités, mesdames et messieurs,
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the national hero we celebrate on this symbolic day was born in Tokanous, Filingwe, where he attended primary school and general education college, then the Issa Korombe and Kasai high schools in Niamey, before joining the Nigerian Armed Forces as a volunteer in 1984.
les lycées Issa Korombe et Kasai à Niamey, avant d'intégrer les forces armées nigériennes comme engagé volontaire en 1984. Très vite, remarqué par la hiérarchie,
Very quickly, noticed by the hierarchy for his seriousness and military rigor, he was selected and sent to Thiès in Senegal, from where after brilliant studies at the National School of Active Officers, graduated under the title of a graduate officer, on October 1, 1991.
le 1er octobre 1991. Il entama alors
He then began a long and exciting career as an active officer.
effectua plusieurs stages et formations.
He completed several internships and training courses abroad, all of which were successful.
Effectua, entre autres, le cours des capitaines à l'École royale d'infanterie.
He completed, among other things, the captain's course at the Royal Infantry School of Bergeria in Morocco, the staff course in Koulikoro in Mali, and the International Security course at the College of International Security Affairs for NACADA in Washington. He acquired all these qualifications after sharing his knowledge and expertise at the training centers in Tondibia and Agadez. He served in several units of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Thus, from 1993 to 2011, he held all the commands from Lieutenant Infantry Platoon Leader to Zone Commander, serving in the garrisons of Niamey, Tondibia, Agadez, Ngoti, Gengami, Diruku, and Zinda. During the same period, he was deployed several times in national operations to combat insecurity in Air, Tingalan, and Lake Chad. At the same time, he held several high-level positions in the General Staff, particularly in the structures responsible for planning and conducting operations. But his professional career was not limited to the national theatre. He was brilliantly engaged in several external missions, including the ECOWAS mission in the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, Bissau, then the United Nations operation in the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, NSI. At the head of the Nigerian battalion, thus contributing to putting an end to the Ivorian crisis at the time, the United Nations mission in Congo, MONUC, where he was particularly involved in the process of disarmament, demobilization, reintegration, and DDR. The United Nations mission in Darfur, Muniel, and finally the Multinational Joint Task Force, MNJTF, of the Lake Chad Basin Commission, where he commanded the Nigerian contingent based in Bagara, Nigeria, which contributed to containing insecurity in the region. All these commitments were recognized by the nation, which rewarded the intrinsic qualities of a dedicated soldier known in the ranks of the Nigerian Armed Forces for his high sense of duty, his probity, and his dignity. He was thus decorated Grand Officer of the Order of the Mayor of Niger, receiving all the decorations in the National Order of Niger, the Cross of Valor with Palm, the Cross of Valor with Star, the decoration of the Fourragere in the colors of the Cross of Valor, to name but one. From 2011, he commanded the Presidential Guard until July 26, 2023, when fate propelled him to the head of the National Council for the Safeguarding of the Fatherland. As you have just seen, the soldier and statesman to whom we pay tribute today has built an exceptional career made of dedication, sacrifice, elevation of spirit, courage and patriotism. It is therefore no coincidence that General Abdourahamane Tchiani is today unanimously recognized by our people, who has shown him this recognition through a historic first of elevating themselves, without intermediary, an officer of their army, to the higher rank, and moreover to the highest rank. Beyond the historical and exceptional nature of this act, there is here the clear incarnation of the link of symbiosis between a man and his people. A bond created, it must be remembered, in the trial and its sacrifice of a nation standing firm, determined to no longer bow its back and resolutely engaged since July 26, 2023, in an irrevocable process of rebuilding.
Dans un processus irrévocable de refondation. Distingués invités, mesdames et messieurs,
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you can well imagine that as Chief Minister of Defense of our territory, of the protection of Nigerians and their property, I cannot ignore the mourning we have observed since the tragic events of Friday, March 21, 2025.
le deuil que nous observons depuis les événements tragiques du vendredi 21 mars 2025. Ce jour-là,
On that day,
plus d'une cinquantaine de nos compatriotes,
more than 50 of our compatriots, some 40 of our unarmed civilian compatriots, were cowardly murdered in a mosque on one day, late Friday, in the middle of the blessed month of Ramadan.
dans une mosquée, en un jour saint de vendredi, en plein mois béni de Ramadan. Qui,
Who,
en dehors d'individus sans foi,
apart from individuals 100 times without law, without any reference point, without any humanity, can perpetrate such ignominy in the picture I have described?
le tableau que j'ai décrit, perpétrer une telle ignominie. Il ne peut s'agir
It can only be a monstrosity controlled from outside, and completely out of step with our socio-cultural and religious values.
décalage avec nos valeurs socio-culturelles et religieuses. Je voudrais, à ce stade,
At this point in my remarks, I would like to reassure the Nigerian people that despite the ignoble tragedy of Fambia, the defense and security forces are working day and night to tirelessly hunt down the enemy and put him out of harm's way.
forces de défense et de sécurité sont à pied d'œuvre, jour et nuit, pour traquer inlassablement l'ennemi et le mettre hors d'état de nuire. Je n'ai aucun doute
I have no doubt that under the leadership of the President of the National Council for the Safeguarding of the Fatherland, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, victory will be ours, and peace and tranquility will return to our people, inshallah.
et la paix et la quiétude reviendront au sein de nos populations, Inch'Allah. Distingués invités, mesdames et messieurs,
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, allow me to say to the man whom the nation honors today,
la nation honore aujourd'hui que c'est précisément
it is precisely in these difficult times of adversity and animosity on all sides, that our people have found hope in you.
que notre peuple s'est retrouvé un espoir en votre personne. Je souhaiterais
I would like, on behalf of all the personnel of the armed forces and their own hands, to convey our admiration to you.
vous transmettre nos admirations. Nous saisissons l'occasion
We also take this opportunity to reiterate to you, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, our availability and our full commitment to accompany you in the gigantic work of refoundation that the people have entrusted to you.
à vous accompagner dans l'œuvre gigantesque de refondation que le peuple vous a confiée. Ce jour particulier du 26 mars 2025
This particular day of March 26, 2025, coinciding with the preparations for the 27th night of the month of Ramadan, will henceforth be engraved in letters of gold in the annals of military history and the history of our country itself.
et de l'histoire de notre pays tout court. Puisse Allah,
May Allah,
dans sa miséricorde,
in His mercy,
fasse que le destin du Niger
make the destiny of Niger, the Nigerians, and their President, General Abdourahamane Tchiani, come together for a sovereign and refounded Niger that meets the aspirations of the Nigerian people,
souverain et répondant aux aspirations du peuple nigérien. Amen.
Amen.